The whole nice guy thing came about probably because I'm always smiling outside of the ring, and like I make time to speak to any followers that I get on Twitter or Facebook, or even if I get stopped at work or on the way to training, you know, and there's someone that recognizes me and for the work that I put in, I take time out and speak to them, you know. I think like most fighters should kind of do that, because I'm so hell-bent on trying to break the stereotype that fighters walk around like with like angry faces and we just want to hurt people and this, that and the other. No, we just, you know, this is a job, this is what we are good at, and you know, we save all that aggression for the ring. But then there's another side of me, you know, that I try and only display now in the cage. That's pretty aggressive, pretty passionate, can be pretty intense as well. And you know, I just try and bottle it up and save it now for the cage. Just before I get into the cage, like, it's like that other side of me takes over, you know, in almost the space of a couple of breaths. You know, I take a couple of breaths and then I kind of soak up the fact that somebody in front of me wants to take my head off, and I'm not going to let that happen, you know. So that other nastier side of me kind of takes over. I was down at Semtex maybe twice a week, because it's pretty far from my place in Hendon Central to get to Swanley in Kent. So at the time I was going twice a week. But then after the loss, I felt the need to step everything up. So I rang Kieran and I was like, well, I'd like to come 4 times a week, and he accommodated me for that. So we stepped our training up 4 times a week, which meant sometimes I'm training 3 times a day. But again, I'm just thinking I need to do what needs to be done if I'm going to improve in this sport. When I went to Kieran, like, my feet were in the mud, so to speak. I weren't really on my toes. I felt that to knock people out, I need to sit down on my punches. So I never got on my toes or anything. My kicks weren't powerful enough because I wasn't balanced, you know. So Kieran took the first couple of months to explain to me how to get my feet out of the mud, get back on my toes again, which is what I'm used to doing. And yeah, he taught me angles and balance, and now like, we've drilled it so hard and so much that it's become second nature.
First cab, he just came to me just for pads and striking and obviously the knowledge. But I wanted that little bit more of him. I wanted to see him spar. So he changed the game plan a little bit to more sparring. And you know what? Leaps and bounds over like the last month. So he's prepared for everything now, mentally as well, not just physically, but mentally prepared.
Technically is probably one of the best here at Titan, you know, with his hands. So I think while he's starting to kind of like improve on his wrestling and obviously his ground techniques, it pretty much all work together as part and parcel with all the rest of his techniques that he does, from his stand up all the way to his ground.
Like Wendle, you know, since he's been training here, man, he's improved a lot. You know, he's improved a hell of a lot. But yeah, you know, we'll see with his next fight and see how he does, etc. You know, he's doing a lot of hard work. You know.
I read up on UWC before my manager Chris told me about this fight, and I read that Frank Rowan's getting involved, and yeah, I was really curious just to see how, because I know he's a well-known, well-respected promoter in boxing, because I still follow boxing. It's again one of my passions. So Yeah, it's being televised on Box Nation, and that kind of opens the doors to a different crowd. And hopefully, I mean, I know that in our country we're more pro boxing than we are MMA. MMA is still pretty new, but hopefully, you know, with the right kind of production and presentation and everything, that we can start to attract, you know, some of the boxing followers into MMA. And I think like my style being more striking than ground at the moment, I think the way that I fight and the energy that I give off when I'm fighting, I think that could help to attract people to our sport. You know, I think they'd look forward to watching my fights hopefully on Box Nation. I went down to UWC September 1st, and I think he was fighting one of my teammates from Semtex, Duncan. I believe his name's Kes Mumba or Kester Mumba. So I watched him fight, and he seemed like pretty erratic on the feet. Like he doesn't really know what he's gonna throw. He's got that kind of energy on the feet, and he must have like a really strong grip, because he choked Duncan out from half guard, I believe. So he had a guillotine choke from half guard and managed to choke Duncan out. So it doesn't really tell me too much. It just tells me, look, I've got to be careful on my feet and fairly savvy on the ground as well. If not, he's likely to try and go for submissions as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, you know. People ask me whether, you know, am I still angry after the last one? And no, it's not a case of anger. I just know that like I've improved myself since my last fight. You know, you can't really do that after a win. I tried to do it. It doesn't work. Once you lose in our sport, it helps you to put everything in perspective, and the guys that stay on and continue fighting only improve. So.
Mixed Martial Arts Plus.